Hi everyone, I'm Milo Gomez with Embark, and I want to give you a little tip right now on how to properly use, or rather stow, a hydration bladder into a pack. Over the course of our trips, I've seen many variations on how to put the bladder in the pack. Sometimes it's strapped to the outside, it's shoved in a side pocket. People are creative and I commend them for it. But there is a proper way to do it, which is going to help your packs ride nicely, not be swinging around, and just make for an overall more comfortable day. So the first thing always with your hydration bladder is make sure you've got it properly sealed. They all have different seal mechanisms at the top, but probably the worst thing that can happen in a day of hiking is your hydration bladder comes open in your pack and everything inside your pack gets wet. And you start feeling that cold trickle down your back. Not fun. So have a buddy check it, do the invert test to make sure you're not having any water come out of the top of the hydration bladder. If you do, it's not sealed properly. They are watertight when sealed properly. So make sure you do that before stowing it inside your pack. Once you are satisfied that everything is put together how it should be, you're going to look inside your pack, and most models are going to have a sleeve on the inside. The sleeve is made exactly for this hydration bladder. It keeps it right on the back of your back. We like our weight to be right behind our back, and water is about the heaviest thing you are going to carry on your trek. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to slide your bladder down into the sleeve. Now the important thing to note is you want the bottom, or the part with the hose, at the bottom of the pack. You don't want to put it in what would be upside down with the seal facing downwards. There's a couple reasons for this. One is if somehow you don't have a great seal, you're just increasing your chances of leaking into your pack. But more importantly is your hose is pulling from the bottom of the bladder. So if you put it in upside down, as you drink the water down, once you get to just beneath that hose level, you're not going to be able to suck anything through your hose anymore. You're not going to be getting water up to the outlet of the tube. Similarly, sometimes people will just kind of set their bladder in sideways. That can work, but again, you're going to come to a point where you're no longer going to get water out of your tube, and you're not going to get everything out of your hydration bladder. So hose down towards the bottom into that sleeve is your best bet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's nice to do this before you have a lot in your pack, because a full bladder takes up a bit of space. So it should be the first thing you really get done in the morning, is get that ready. Finally, I'll see people do a lot of different things with the hoses too. So a lot of times folks will just kind of start to zip up the pack, and they'll have the hose kind of poking out the side of the zipper. And it works, people can do that, but ultimately that just leaves you in this chance that your pack's gonna come unzipped by itself throughout the day as you're moving around. And again, most pack models will actually have some sort of outlet for the hydration tube. So you wanna find that outlet. Sometimes it's right above the neck. Other times you'll find it on the sides of the pack as well. So look around at your pack. If you can't find it, ask your guide or ask a fellow hiker if they know where it's at. And what you're gonna do is you'll have that hose. This one's already set up, but it'll be coming out the top of the bladder, and you're just gonna thread the top of the hose through that little hole. Sometimes it can be a little tricky. You kind of have to wiggle it, but once it's in there and in place, you're done with it. So don't be discouraged. And then finally, whatever side you want the hose sitting on is fine, but you'll find the packs have these little elastic bungees for you to run that hose through, so it's not bouncing around. It doesn't need to be hanging behind your pack where you can't get to it. You want it nice right on the side where you can reach it easily. Some features may have like this, or some packs may have features like this that are these clips to put it on. Some do, some don't. There's plenty of ways to stow the hose at your breast when you don't need it. The final thing is every nozzle has some sort of open closed mechanism. So on this one, it's this switch. There's going to be an on and an off. If you're sucking on the tube and you're getting nothing through, mess around with your nozzle. Not all of them are switches like this. Some of them you pull on the nozzle itself. Others have like twist locks. So there's a lot of varieties out there. Again, just play around with it, and if you can't figure it out, ask your guide or ask a fellow hiker to see if they can help you sort it out. So those are just a few tips on hydration bladders. Really useful, really help us to make sure we're staying hydrated, because we're not fiddling around trying to find our water bottle. We can take sips whenever we need it. So we really recommend their use. Some other final thoughts on them: if you're hiking in really cold environments, having a little neoprene insulation tube can help. These hoses will freeze and you won't be able to get water through. Or blowing on the hose every time you take a drink to re-clear the hose helps keep it clear of ice and functioning in cold environments. And yep, so that's about it with these. Oh, another one is I don't recommend putting in any sort of Gatorade or mix. I would recommend just water in these, because once you get them sticky and sugary, you will never get them unsticky and sugary. So just some thoughts there. Anyway, happy hiking. Good luck on your next adventure.